Hello, what's going on? Okay, a client lab review. And I'm not even gonna say 5 minutes because this one is not gonna be 5 minutes because there is a lot going on here for me to explain and unwind and help with. So this client is insulin resistant and has a lot of cardiac inflammation, high cholesterol, big complaints about mood swings, lack of energy, overall not feeling well, just doesn't feel well and putting on weight and wants to get that weight off. So let's dig into the labs. Okay, page 1. As we see here, we have the glucose, the hemoglobin A1C, and the insulin. And I just want to drive home right here because this is a perfect example of why it is so important to have your insulin checked as well as your glucose. Because her glucose looks like it's a really good number. It's 78. That is a great number. But her insulin is 20.2. This is a terrible number. Anything over 15 with insulin is technically considered diabetic. She's at a 20.2. So what this means is that she is over-secreting insulin in order to try and drive those glucose numbers down. And the gates are going to break at some point. It's going to flood, and then it's going to be full blood or full glucose numbers elevated, all that kind of stuff. So this could have been prevented had insulin been checked along with glucose from the get-go. And we would have seen that insulin was increasing to maintain those low glucose numbers. So that's one of the big ones that we're going to attack is insulin resistance and improving insulin sensitivity. You see her liver enzyme is high. It's just one number outside of high, but this could be related to the insulin. This could also be related, you'll see her high cholesterol levels. This could be stress management. This could be a detox issue because we have some digestive issues as well. So it could be a multitude of things, but it's just barely high. So not something that I'm going to focus on right now. Next, moving down into sex hormones. So this client is on birth control, which makes it hard or it makes reading sex hormones a little hard in a sense because of what the birth control actually does to the sex hormones, which keeps estrogen high and progesterone low. So I don't really know if she's truly estrogen dominant or if this is the birth control doing this. From the symptoms that she has told me about and the reasons that she got on the birth control, I'm gonna say she's estrogen dominant. So I'm going to provide her with some supplementation to help with that. DIM, which helps to push estrogen out like the least toxic pathway in the body, some calcium D-glucuronate, which actually helps to metabolize excess estrogen. Because if we are estrogen dominant, we want to make sure, one, that you're pooping every day because that's how we get rid of the excess hormones, but two, removing some of that inflammation and getting those numbers down because excess estrogen, right, leads to excess estrogen diseases, cancer, endometriosis, cyst, things like that that can really start to cause issues. So we want to get those numbers down. All right, next we are going to look at cholesterol. You can see this, very high. So we are really going to focus on diet here, including a lot of extra virgin olive oil, flaxseed oil, making sure that all meats and eggs are organic, pasture raised, because the fatty acid profile is different on those versus your conventional cattle that is raised. And then I have provided her with a food list of foods to choose from, all one ingredient, whole foods, to help her make better decisions and make it a little bit easier on her. But really going to modify that with diet and supplementation and movement. We're not going to get heavy into exercise, and I'll explain that in a minute, but we are going to move. We are going to walk a ton. All right, you see that her vitamin D is low as well. Ideally, vitamin D is between 80 and 100. She's at 50, so not really low. Like I've had clients come to me at 20s, but it is low, and she does have complaints of mood. So we want to get this elevated as vitamin D helps with the synthesis, if I could speak, of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, GABA, all those feel-good neurotransmitters. So we want to get those vitamin D's level up and give her all the benefits to have optimal feelings and elevate her mood. And then last here, we look, her total testosterone is low. What's called the C-reactive protein, it is high. This is a systemic inflammation marker, and typically the higher this number is, the more likely you are to have plaque in your arteries. Ideally, this number is less than 1, so a 5 is actually a pretty good number. It's pretty high up there. So we want to get this under control, but this is not surprising seeing the cholesterol levels, right? And then last on this is the cortisol at 6.3. This is low. This is also contributing to her mood. Not the anxiety that she has or the feelings. That's going to be more the estrogen dominance and the low progesterone that contributes to that or exacerbates those feelings. This is what's going to contribute to the low drive. Not necessarily being depressed, but a low drive. There is no will to like get up and go or just live life. You just kind of feel like, ugh. But there's a clear difference between depression and this. And it's, you know, there could be some depression, but not necessarily, they don't go, I don't want to say that if you have low cortisol, you're depressed, because that's not it. You just have a low drive for things. So this is definitely contributing to her mood as well. So the plan for this client, because the cortisol is so low, is we're not going to exercise hard. We want to put zero extra stress on the body. Even though exercise is good for us, it is still a stress, and it still keeps us in that sympathetic state, which is that fight or flight state, which is chronically what she's been in that's driven her cortisol levels low, if that makes sense. If I said that correctly. I did say it correctly. I just hope it makes sense to you. Okay. So we need to pull out everything that we can control stress-wise to give the body a chance to heal and elevate these numbers. So we're going to walk. She is going to walk for 2 weeks. At the 2-week mark, we'll kind of elevate, but I might keep it back to like 4 weeks, honestly, with her, just because of everything else that she has going on. The walking is great. The walking is a great de-stressor, and it's also activity that's going to help her lose weight because it's more than what she's currently doing, but I don't want her doing HIIT classes, weightlifting, anything like that. She could do some yoga, something like that, but I don't want anything that is going to trigger that sympathetic state. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get her on some insulin blunting supplements to help reduce the insulin resistance and improve insulin sensitivity. We're going to change diet up and some supplements to help with the cortisol levels. The cholesterol levels. We are going to do a supplement as well for the cortisol to help increase cortisol to get that number up so that she starts feeling better. And then really just week by week, touch base, look at clinical symptoms, see how she's feeling, and make adjustments as we go from there. So yeah, that's a lot in this client, but this kind of stuff I get excited to work and help on, because I know in like 4 weeks what a difference she can feel. Now in 4 weeks, by no means is she healed, but you start to feel better. And then when you feel better, that gives you that drive to continue on. As I told her, these first couple of weeks on this new protocol and stuff like that, she's not going to feel great. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a mental challenge, but you just kind of got to get through that little hurdle, and then things start moving. So really excited to work with this client and give her her life back, basically. So you can find all my information at CynthiaWilliamsWellness.com. I have 4 different options there for you. I have a free 4-week metabolic health challenge. I have a $100 8-week nutrition plan. I have my LIFT program, which is nutrition and exercise coaching for 7 weeks. And then I have my hormone and gut health session, which is an 8-week program of deep dive coaching as well. So all of that information can be found at CynthiaWilliamsWellness.com. I will see you in the next one.